Hello and welcome to Modern Championship 2, the finals, here at the Dice Cup in Nottingham, England. We've got a top 8 tournament here for you, obviously modern. The Dice Cup is a real good scene for competitive Magic the Gathering. Modern is played every Wednesday evening at 7 p.m. So if you want to come and join in, there'll be on average, there's about 16 players each week playing in our weekly modern tournaments. But what we have today is a top 8 event. So let's just go and talk about how we qualified for this event. And when I say we, I mean they. I certainly wasn't involved in this. But there were two qualifying criteria. There was win percentage and overall points. So this is a 6-month long league essentially, where approximately every other week counted towards the Modern Championship. And so for 6 months, there were 12 or 13 events that counted towards this. And so how people qualified was that the top 4 players in win percentage got the top got for the first 4 places, and then the second 4 places went to the players with the most overall points that hadn't already qualified based on win percentage. So that's how we got here, and the qualifiers were David, Joe, Sean, Niall, Ember, Alex, Henry, and Aidan. And this, as you can see there, is a seeded top 8. So let's have a look at the bracket. All right, so it's a double elimination event here. We've got obviously our first 4 matches, and then the victors will continue through to the final, and those who weren't so fortunate will go into the rather harshly but aptly named losers bracket, where they will get another chance at making it to the final. And with that, let's just get stuck in for match number 1. And to help me out with all things modern, I need a modern expert to help me. But Henry wasn't available, so we've got Kieran. Hey, Kieran.
Hello there. I was going to say, I don't know if I'm a modern expert, but when you compare me to Henry, maybe I am. So.
Well, Henry made it to this event, and you did not. So
Yeah, that's fair enough.
we've got Ember and Niall. Let's talk through Niall's deck first. So Niall's playing Eldrazi Ramp. Cool looking list. I'm assuming this is a case of ramp to Emrakul and hope that wins.
Yeah, pretty much. It just wants to. So you've got Ugin's Labyrinth there. You've got Utopia Sprawl. You've got the Talismans.
Yep.
So yeah, you want to play early ramp spells in those. Maybe an early Sowing Micro Spawn to shoot up another land, potentially get rid of an opponent's lands, and then just drop an Emrakul, take your opponent's turn, do as much damage as possible. So yeah, pretty standard list here. One of my favourite cards currently in Modern, in Malevolent Rumble. Just seems to do so much. And another huge card that the deck got was Kozilek's Command, actually being able to interact with your opponent at instant speed with the Eldrazi deck. It wasn't something it previously could do. It just had stuff like Warping Whale, but Kozilek's Command being a modal spell, you get to choose the best 2. Very strong card. And then the elephant in the room, the One Ring 4 of in this deck.
Yep.
As it should be in.
That's going to be a fairly consistent thing, I suspect, through this top 8 tournament.
Yeah, as it should be in Modern as well. I actually imagine this is quite a difficult matchup for Eldrazi Ramp in Game 1, due to them having very little interaction apart from that. So Micro Spawn to actually exile a land. But if we look in the sideboard, we do have 3 Mystical Disputes, which we can cast using the Utopia Sprawl. We have got a Hedge Maze there. We've got 2 very important cards there in Trinisphere, which I think are going to be very important.
Yeah, good
The
shout
matchup.
actually. Yep. All right. Well, let's see what the matchup actually looks like and move on to Ember's deck.
Yeah, so this is, as you can see, it's just Storm. It's a pretty bog standard Storm list. We've got the Desperate Ritual, Manamorphose, Pyretic Ritual. We've got the mana reduction with Ral and Ruby Medallion, and then Ral also turning into a exile the top 8 cards to be able to cast them, so you never really run out of gas.
Yep.
Past in Flames there, usually the win con, and then what a lot of these Storm decks are doing now is why play your win con in the main deck where your opponent can interact with it, whereas you can play Wish instead and
Yes.
just tutor
Okay.
it out the sideboard.
So this is you've got Grape Shot, Empty the Warrens,
Yeah,
Alchemist Gambit, and you just go, all right, we're gonna wish and grab whatever I need
yeah,
to win. And I suppose would you ever? I guess you could wish for like a Pyroclasm if you needed to against an aggro deck. But yeah, that's cool. I quite like that, like tech.
yeah. So looking at this list, there's only really 7 sideboard cards, with 3 being the Orange Chant and 4 being the Static Prism. The rest of the cards, like you say, we just wish them in. We wish in the Pyroclasm or the Brotherhood's End, depending on what we're against. And then Gigantha, because why not? It's free in a day
Yep.
like this.
Nice. Just got to remember to side it out when you side in the Brotherhood's End.
Yeah.
Nice. All right, let's get straight into the match then. Finally into the first match. So I've put here Ember being on red white. I guess that's not I guess it is technically true. We've got the static prisms.
Yeah, it's static prisms in this version. It's not the red-green Storm deck we sometimes see. And we do have Niall starting here due to this being a sort of seeded tournament and Niall finishing above Ember overall. So this is actually quite important here to be on the players the Eldrazi ramp deck, as you want to get the early soul land down to actually give you a chance in the matchup.
Yeah, absolutely. And I suppose game 1 is going to be pretty key for Niall as well, right?
Yeah, if Niall can steal this game 1, I say if, because it's a really big if. Like I say, there's not many points of interaction, so if we can get this game 1, it puts Niall in just a huge advantage in games 2 and 3. Another huge advantage here is Niall actually being able to keep 7 and Ember mulliganing down to 6, but with Storm, 6 can be enough to just combo off.
Yeah, there's plenty of ways to just get a couple more cards.
Yeah, so we're probably looking for any sort of mana reduction, a couple of rituals, and then a Ren's Resolve,
Yeah, that's
something along the line to just get this going. I think I can see a Ruby Medallion there at the front of Ember's hand, so it is a keep. Nice. Definitely a Ruby.
Oh, there's some ramp.
And there's the almost Soul Land. We do have a slow start here from Ember. I suppose Storm doesn't really have much to play on turn 1.
It's just like play a Ral, right? But
Ral's 2 mana, so can't go down on 1, unfortunately.
oh, what am I thinking of? Oh, I'm thinking of Tamio.
Yeah. Okay.
It's your
Here's
favourite.
my favourite card. That doesn't do anything. That doesn't do anything. That doesn't do anything. And that's not something you can take. You're going to take the talisman so we can ramp even more. Let's see if we have got a soul land to follow this up, so we get to untap with at least 5 mana. We don't, but we still just get to play the talisman anyway. And an Ancient Stirrings.
Sweet. What's this ancient stirrings do?
So look at the top 5 cards of your library. Add a colourless card, or reveal a colourless card from one of them. Put it into your hand, and then the bottom, the rest put into the bottom in a random order. Oh, in any order actually. This is one where you can stack it.
Okay. It's just another malevolent rumble, but okay, yep.
So we do get an Ugin's Lamb there. So we are going to untap and potentially have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mana. Which could be huge if we have a Mycosynth in hand. Take Ember off one of those lands.
Oh yeah, that'd be pretty nasty.
And then if there is the 7 mana one, I can't remember what it's called, but when it gets to exile a land or artifact, could be quite big here if Ember does lead on this Ruby Medallion. And there it is. If I'm Niall at this point, I'm very scared because Ember could just untap and win.
Really?
That yeah, Ruby Medallion making them all cost 1 less. They just chain off. Like if there's 5 spells in hand and they are like say 3 rituals and 2 Ren's Resolve, then you find a Past in Flames. You just go off. Well, there is that World Break that I was on about. So that is a nice one to be able to play, but it's not going to do anything here, unfortunately.
Be played.
No. We're 1 mana short on that.
So So, I mean, I suppose. Okay, we are just going to go for the land destruction option, which is exactly what you called out.
Yeah, I think this is one of the only ways Niall can actually interact. But this will let him ramp up to potentially get that world breaker with that Eldrazi Temple next turn. And can attack the other land. That is if we get another turn.
Even with that land destruction ahead of Ember's turn 3.
Yeah. Just any ritual here is just +2 mana, and that's enough to get going. So this is one of the ones that only nets us 1 mana, but it draws us a card instead. We're making a blue mana here. Interesting.
Blue mana? Why?
I don't know. Should that not say 1/1?
Oh no, the blue is storm count.
Right, blue is storm.
Red is mana. That's
okay.
why.
I was very confused there. Nice. So yeah, here we go. We've now got 3 land. I imagine the land was the draw of that Manamorphose, which is probably what Ember was hoping for. Niall doing what I do when I play against Storm, just cleaning the muck off your lands because there's nothing you can do once they get going. You just sort of sit there and
distract yourself.
Fingers crossed. Hope you don't die. So here we go, a glimpse of huge card the deck got. Oof. Now that is a swing and a miss. 2 lands and a medallion, which we've already got.
Yikes, okay.
So if Ember doesn't have any other form of draw spell, we could be in trouble here. Could just be a pass. Or play Ruby Medallion and pass. We would get the 2 Scions, so we could try again next turn.
But if we check how much... get another turn, right, because Niall's on a lot of mana right now.
If we look at Niall, he's got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and a few cards in his grave.
I'll use the last 2 reds to cast another Ruby Medallion Trigger Talent.
Okay.
I will discard...
So it does look like Ember has fizzled here, and we are going to just set up to try and go off again next turn.
So it's just trying to sort the hand out so that next turn we can go off.
Yeah, so we do have the second Ruby Medallion down now, which won't make... I think the early card it affects is Glimpse. But we do have 2 Scions as well.
Yeah, it's true. Glimpses are, yeah, very good, right? Malevolent Rumble's pretty good. Glimpse is going to be good too.
So here, if Niall can drop an Emrakul, I think it could just be GG. I don't quite know if he's got the mana. I don't know what his graveyard count is at. He's attacking for 3.
No decision point there, I assume. It's just take it all.
Yeah, these silence are more important as just a extra mana in case you need to flash back your past in flames. Oh,
another Utopia Sprawl.
This does not bode well. This is. I'm not confident if that's all Niall's got.
Yeah, it's not looking great. I've always talked about like ramp decks being a bit like two halves of a deck just slammed together, and if you draw the wrong half, you're in trouble because you need to draw the things to ramp to, or you need to draw the ramp.
Yeah, that's a pretty decent hit there. So we did hit something to ramp to. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We can play it. The only issue now is there are now 2 rupee medallions targeting that doesn't help.
Like you said, that second one's like insurance.
Yeah. I suppose we just go after a land if we want to do it.
Oh, okay.
No, we're just going to go for the ring, get that protection. And I think we saw the deck list and there's no Fastest Oracle in the list, so there's no actually. So I suppose we'd have to go for the empty the Warrens into Alchemist's Gambit to take an extra turn, but that still wouldn't work. How does the ring?
It does work because the Gambit has a line that says damage can't be prevented in that next turn.
Does it? Okay. Yeah. So we do have a way to win through this ring with the Alchemist Gambit. So let's see if we can get to an Empty the Warrens big enough to punch through this single Scion blocker, spawn blocker, as well as also.
Crazy to think that actually Ember is massively favoured to just win here.
Yeah, so this is probably where you want to start with this Past in Flames. So all those cards we cast last turn and fizzled with, we've now got access to them all again.
Okay, well that makes a lot of sense then. Yeah, this is going to be a struggle.
Yeah. So that Past in Flames also represents the double wish we need if we have to get there.
Is it often then in Modern where you sit down and your deck just the pairing, the matchup just says you're going to really struggle to win this game for game 1, and then you just have to rely on your sideboard options?
Modern is. There's so many cards in Modern now, you can't plan for every deck. If you plan for the meta decks, you'll get hit by non-meta decks, and they're weird cards that you don't expect to see. But yeah, Modern, some games you're going to sit down, you're going to go, your opponent's going to be on the play, they're going to play a Ragavan, and you're going to be like, oh, I can't beat that card.
Okay, wow. And what's is it just because they're so streamlined, the decks?
Yeah, so I was going to say, I'd like this. Yeah, the decks are so streamlined. The answers are so efficient that you can sideboard for certain matchups, but not all of them.
Got you. Let's see what Ember gets. Okay.
So we're starting the Storm piles. So if you can see, we've got a Past in Flames pile, we've got a non-graveyard Past in Flames pile, we've got our Exile pile, we've got a Rends Resolve pile, or Impulse Draw pile. That Manamorphose has gone into the wrong pile.
Trigger Row, Trigger Talent, Discard Elegant Parlor.
So let's hope that doesn't come up.
Transforms on even numbers. It's a 1 odd number. Not
Does Ember want to keep roll unflipped at this point?
Yeah, you want to keep it unflipped until you've cast, I think it's 8 spells, and you can flip it and automate it straight away.
Yeah.
So you can just decline to flip as well.
Oh, the fix has been.
Yeah, we put the Manamorphous in the right place. We're on 3 mana. I don't know how many real rituals we've got in the bin. Imagine a couple.
That's basically, well, it's not a ritual. It's just a free card draw spell.
Yeah.
Storm 5 before. Storm 5 was for casting Ral, Storm 6 was for Manamorphose.
Right.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, because it's been Past in Flames, Manamorphose, Desperate Ritual, First Glimpse, Ral, Manamorphose, Second Glimpse.
Okay.
Yeah. Storm is one of those decks where I'd happily play it online, where it keeps track of all the triggers and
Yeah.
all the cards in all the right piles.
This does really just seem like a game of administration right now.
Yeah.
Odd number.
So we lose the flip on Ral again, but we're probably not that fussed because we don't want it to flip yet.
We're one step away from wanting it to.
We hit. So we hit 2 rituals there, so I think that is almost definitely going to be game, because these 2 rituals you're going to get enough mana to cast a Past in Flames.
To be able to open up the extra pile.
Yeah, as well as also being able to flip this Ral at some point. We got 13 life. We're not going to lose 13 more flips. You'd be really unlucky to lose that many in a row.
Roll for Ral.
So we're going to do the Ral now.
1, I take 1.
We have lost 3 flips in a row though, so we are doing our best impression of killing ourselves with this Ral.
3 red, 4. I will cast Manamorphose, trigger.
This talent here is an interesting new addition I've not seen played in Storm. But it just looks like it's a way to ditch all these lands you get stuck in your hand and turn into potentially real cards.
That's it, right? Like you just put that on the board and it's basically just filters your hand.
Yeah.
Without costing anything.
Odd number, I will choose to transform.
Okay, we've won the flip now. We can get through the round.
Comes in with 10 loyalty.
Yeah, so be
Yeah, so it comes in with 9 because it counts all instant and sorcerers. It doesn't actually count itself.
Yep.
So on 9, you still get to ultimate it.
And that's exile 8 cards, and you can cast instants and sorceries for free.
Yeah.
We have a wish.
So there's the wish. Yeah, and then Niall.
Yeah.
It looks like Niall's scooping it up at that point. Yeah, like we said, wish. There we go. Yeah, sorted. We're on storm count like 10 at that point, so Empty the Warrants is going to get in like 20 goblins.
Yeah, and so the Alchemist Gambit says during that turn damage can't be prevented, which is key.
Yeah, that's quite cool that they found that on the card.
So the One Ring can be beaten.
Yeah, so before I think they were on Fass's Oracle as a win con around it, but why play a double blue spell that means you have to draw your whole deck when you can just go for a alternate win con? And here we see Static Prisons being brought in as an answer to the Trinisphere, probably. I don't know if it was open deck lists for this tournament or not.
It was open deck lists, so that they actually have access to each other's deck lists at all times. So I think this is what Ember's looking at now. Yeah, you can see that. So that is Niall's deck list there. That Ember's consulting. So this is a key phase then in Modern, and something that I've not really experienced that much, as only really playing Standard and Limited. Like sideboarding is still important in Standard, and maybe is more important nowadays than it used to be. But the concept of, or the idea that matches can be won and lost just on the sideboarding decisions, and that being one of the key decision points in matches, is quite alien to me.
Yeah, so like I mentioned in the decks themselves, I think both of them have a 3 mana spell that when cast is going to make it real difficult for the other player to win. Ember's being Blood Moon.
Yeah.
Niall's being Trinisphere. Ember can play a Trinisphere on turn 2, but Niall can also play a Trinisphere on turn 2. So we'll see who is.
Who gets the hate card out earlier?
Yeah, and something we could see is we could see players mulligan down towards these hate pieces.
Yeah, I mean,
'cause-
Trinisphere's pretty darn important for Niall. Once that comes down, we noticed that there's no Abrade in Ember's side.
Yeah,
So
it was just the Brotherhood's End, wasn't it, that we
yeah,
noticed? So.
that's it.
So yeah, and Niall can quite easily get down the Trinisphere with a Soul Land into a any other land. So let's see how it goes in game 2.
I watched like all of Smiling Friends yesterday.
What, all 2 seasons?
Yeah, all 2 seasons.
I mean, it's like
Wow. I don't know whether that's a flex or not that Ember's managed to watch 2 seasons of a TV series in a day.
I was quite off my ass in that house.
That's pretty impressive.
That was horrible.
Yeah, I wish I had the time to do that.
The bit where he's like, imagine
Instead, here we are commentating on Magic the Gathering.
Yeah, this is why we don't have the time. So Niall, deep in 4 here, looking at his hand of 7, just see a Trinisphere. Just the correct thing of putting the cards back.
They're not that bad.
It does almost feel like you're just not winning unless you find one, though.
Yeah, like without Trinisphere, I think this matchup is like 90 to 10 to Ember to win. Like we saw Niall get rid of one of Ember's lands, and Ember was like, "Cool, I'll just play something else that lets all my spells be 1 cheaper
Yeah.
anyway."
Combo off on 2 lands, not a problem.
Yeah. I don't know if Ember's also taking a mulligan here. They are both shuffling. So if they're both taking a mulligan, maybe they are both digging down to those hate pieces.
Interestingly, Gigantha is still there as a companion, so
Yeah,
Brotherhood's End is not in the main.
it's one of those where I think there's 3 wishes in the main board. So
It's actually better to keep it in a side.
potentially, it depends.
Don't know, because mana's a thing.
Yeah, it's 3 mana versus the 6 mana and potentially 2 turns. And if Trinisphere is down, you can't exactly ritual into a Trinisphere or ritual into a wish into Brother's End. We did also see Ember read the Stone Brain from Niall earlier before this game began, so I wonder if Niall intends to bring that in. You could name Wish, I suppose. and
Yeah,
get
I
rid of that.
suppose. Where's the win con if Wish is removed?
It's a good question. Let's see if that happens. Because we could quite easily see a turn 1 Stone Brain off a Eldrazi Temple, not Eldrazi Temple, but the Ugin's Temple, the new land.
Yep.
And then an activation straight away on turn 2. Let's see. Okay, that is the start that Niall needs.
Nice little piece of scrap paper to
Yeah. So there, I think, is Ember's only turn 1 play. It's just
make a
get a
treasure.
treasure for 1 mana. It's quite clean.
I remember quite a while ago asking the question, like, how much mana would you pay for a treasure? I mean, if this didn't have flashback, it wouldn't be playable, right?
Probably.
But
I don't think so.
it does show how powerful treasures are.
Yeah. Oh, I don't like this from Niall. I'd really like him to have gone Land Trinisphere here. But we're going to go digging.
Okay.
Emrakul, 2 World Breakers and a land.
If we take the World Breaker there, I think Niall's got a lot of mana in his hand to
Yeah.
deploy. Because the temple there's quite nice. Here we see another temple being played anyway. Into
Sure. That's the blue.
Yeah, blue green.
Talisman. So we've got, what is that, 5 mana? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Sunbreak Canyon.
So we can play the World Ender with another Soul Land next turn.
Is the temple add tap 2 for a colourless? Is that what it is?
Playing with the token draw?
So it adds 2 for an Eldrazi,
Oh,
or
for
it just
Eldrazi,
taps for a
okay.
colourless mana.
So it's specifically Eldrazi, not just colourless.
Yeah, be a bit good if it just tapped for colourless. Have Affinity running wild.
I suppose.
Oh right, this isn't through the breach. No. Okay.
Ember's played a land. We have 3 mana, or including that treasure, which is being displayed by the Squee.
Take 1, 9, yes, 18. Test the Ruby Medallion, crack the treasure, test the caster.
Okay.
Alright, another setup.
Yeah.
We're in trouble.
So even if we do get rid of this Ruby Medallion now, there is still a mana reducer. We start with a Misty Rainforest, so we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mana. So we are 1 short of that World Breaker we know about.
Yep. Aha!
But there is the Trinisphere right on time.
Silence, Pete, please. I would like to hear Ember's groaning.
So even with the cost reductions, Trinisphere wins. It just says you have to play at least 3 mana for spells.
Okay.
So
Because it replaces the cost, and Medallion reduces the cost.
I have no idea why. I just know Trinisphere wins.
Cool.
It's one of those weird layers questions, which you'd have to go deep. I'm pretty sure.
No, yeah, I
One
think
of
it's
the
fairly
rulings.
straightforward, like from what I can see.
I think in the rules it literally has all the mana reduction, and then at the end it just says if Trinisphere's in play, they always cost 3.
Oh, good. Amazing. Some Magic the Gathering rulings, I'm never gonna get right. I'm just gonna call a judge every single time I see it. But, like, you tell me whether it works.
Yeah. So if Ember can follow up here with a Blood Moon, we could have a game on. If not, I don't have high hopes for Ember because we know there is a World Breaker in hand,
Well,
which will come down and be a threat, take away land.
the issue doesn't World Breaker just remove the Blood Moon though? Because we have the Talisman in play. The World Breaker, the World Breaker is the answer to the Blood Moon.
Can it do enchantments?
Oh, I thought it was maybe not. I'm gonna have to look this one up.
Yeah.
Impulse, passive flames.
Enchantments, artifact, enchantment, or land.
So yeah, it does hit.
Rao getting into the red zone. It's gonna take a while if that's the wink on here.
I never expected you to use an American football phrase. There's quite a lot actually in Magic. There's like punting the game away and stuff like that. I've never really thought about it. Look at us Englishmen being Americanized by American sports through our card game.
Yeah. Is this going to be another 3 mana for a Reckless Impulse instead?
Yeah, that's super painful.
So we hit the land.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Uh-oh.
Exile Ral.
Yep.
I'll make 4 spawns.
Yes.
That's a lot of mana.
What's the one colourless? Oh, wait, that's an Eldrazi spell, so it counts.
Yep. It is a kindred spell, so that Eldrazi Temple lets it tap for 2.
Look at that.
Go down and start. Yeah. Stays in exile. I'll pass to you.
We untap. We have a mini earthquake happening on our board. It is stabilized. Oh no, it's still going.
Somebody's tapping away.
Yep. Counting all the mana. Niall has here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Enough for an Emrakul.
11. There is at least creature, land, sorcery in there.
Oh, there we go.
Okay.
just to be clear, the
Yeah.
opponent I would like to choose is you.
Glad we specified that.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
Is that a Sunbaked Canyon as well? Can we sack that?
We can sack that.
Which of my one spells do you want to make me discard?
I guess what I'll do, how to get the most out of your
I don't know about that, Ember. I'm pretty sure we can cast the ritual, cast the Manamorphose, then sack the land. That seems like a pretty good play. Leave Ember with a Past in Flames and a Ruby Medallion. And, oh, is there another card there?
This will make 3, so I'll do this.
Well, how would you like to tap my mana?
Yeah, these ones.
Okay.
Yeah, I like that.
Cast this with a flame.
Ah, look.
So there's a strike at Rich. So we get.
To sack to draw cards.
Okay.
And then you're going to attack with your route. Oh no, it's not there anymore.
No.
I get to my extra turn.
Yeah.
Cool.
So this is not the extra turn that Ember was hoping she'd be taking this game.
It doesn't feel like an extra turn when you didn't actually get to take the first one.
Yeah, when you wasteland yourself and lose all your.
I'm gonna flashback strike it, Rich.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
What do you mean wasteland? Ember got to
Well,
draw a card off it.
True, true.
Wasteland would still be pretty strong, even if it allowed them to draw.
Yeah.
What do we have here?
I think it's just going to be that world break we know about, right?
Certainly is.
Treasure.
The treasure.
Go ahead.
That's weird. I took a land. Taking a land means Ember definitely can't play more than one spell.
Morphos on like red white. Should have started pressing the after you'd like killed my land, but I was
Yeah.
So there we see the sideboard card coming down, the Trinisphere, and absolutely turning that game upside down. Ember on the play though now, so we'll see how game 3 goes.
Yeah, it definitely feels a little bit rock paper scissors like. But you still got there's still a game to be played. It's not quite as strong a case of yeah, you win or you lose based on what they draw.
Well, like I say, either of these players could do a turn 2 Blood Moon or Trinisphere. And if they do get that off, I have very low hopes for the other player.
Yeah, it is pretty much just game at that point. But as you say, we'll just see how they get on in the third.
Yeah. Wow. The camera's even more askew now.
Yeah, apologies for the camera angles. We're gonna do our best.
Yep.
We can't necessarily see the land bases very well, but
Pre-game effect.
Okay.
oh, pre-game effect.
Reveal.
Devourer of Destiny.
You know it does,
So,
Yeah. Look at the top
Oh.
4, exile.
right? Yeah. Give my
Maybe
first
put
look.
one of them on top. Yes, beginning of your first.
I look at top 4, put one back on top.
I'll play with it.
It's alright. It was played against me in the draft championship finals.
it's not as good there as it is here. Being able to pick one of these 4 cards that you want to draw. It's pretty sweet.
So even if there isn't a Trinisphere in your opening hand, you just go and get one.
Yep. If there's a Trinisphere in your top 11,
Micah spawn, one
One
ring.
ring and an ancient stone.
Not putting ancient stones on top.
I'll draw the
Furious.
turn.
Yes.
so those were some good cards there.
Yeah, and like Ember said, no ancient stirring. on
Yeah,
the top.
tends to lead me down this line that we're going to have a what is it called? Eldrazi Monument.
We've already got one.
Yeah. Oh, Eldrazi Monument. I have no idea what the land is called. I should probably learn.
What, Ugin's Labyrinth.
That's the one.
Okay.
And that is a heck of a turn one there. We get an Ugin's Labyrinth down into an Impulse, into an Ancient Stirrings, showing the Trinisphere.
Yikes.
Ember, do you have a turn 2 win? Can it be done? I suppose it can. It starts off by going land, ritual, mana reducer, ritual, Rens Resolve, ritual, Rens Resolve, ritual, Rens Resolve, Past in Flames. So that is what I'm predicting here.
Okay, you think Ember's got all 4 copies of all 3 of the cards that she needs?
No, I think she only needs like 2 of them in her hand. The rest can be on the top of the deck.
Oh right, of course. My bad.
Let's see how this goes.
On me of little faith.
I'm just saying, I think she needs them. Otherwise, I don't have high hopes.
I'm going to play another one.
I mean, I'm rooting for Ember here because Niall's playing with a Pokemon playmat, and I'm not okay with that.
We can just see that Gigantha still in frame, so we know there's not going to be a Brotherhood's End here for the Trinisphere that we've seen.
It's very warm and cozy. Yeah. They almost look like Christmas jumpers a little bit.
I did wear this last year's Christmas party.
Did you?
So
Ember.
I can see a reason to bring it in then, right? But
Yeah. I think it is correct to bring it in. I think you're much more likely to
Yeah. Outrage.
because on this board, being able to get rid of an Impulse and a Trinisphere is pretty sweet. But we'll see.
quite the puzzle that Ember's been presented with here.
Yeah. If you can't win this turn, how can you set up a potential win? These are the questions that are going to be going through Ember's head here, knowing that you probably... Well, I've got to imagine the Trinisphere is just slammed into play next turn.
Mana Morpho is double red. Heretic Ritual.
Okay, so if we do follow... Oh, here we are.
Oh,
Okay,
but we have a talisman.
we do. So we can just go land Trinisphere to back up. And we'll see whose hate piece is more hateful.
Well, with the artifact, the mana rocks, I suspect the Trinisphere is a lot more impactful.
Yeah, so...
Because we have green and red mana, and those seem to be, well, green's key, right?
Green is key, yeah. So we got 3 mana for Rens Resolve. Passing it back.
It isn't half going to slow this match down, though, this.
Yep. There's the forest. So we
have a
are up
basic.
to 4 mana.
4/3.
So something like a One Ring here to just out advantage at Ember could be really key.
That'd be disgusting. It's something
Is it gonna-
for.
A Micah spawn here is also really good, just being able to get another mana.
It is indeed a Micah spawn.
I just think this Trinisphere is far more backbreaking than this Blood Moon ever was.
Yeah. This is the perfect card to shut down this deck.
Yeah.
And the fact that Niall's like, is this a card that you just leave in this sideboard for this type of deck? Because I suspect this is a deck it's there for. What else? What else does this house? Is it like aggro decks? Does it?
No, I imagine this Trinisphere is just in here for this one deck,
Okay,
this
yeah.
one matchup. Also, with this being a seeded tournament, Niall perhaps would have known that Ember was on Storm before game one even began, so that could be a meta call to play this Trinisphere.
Yeah, I like that.
Static Prism.
Interesting. Okay. You mean because it's
Ooh.
seeded, Niall knew that this was a
No,
matchup? Ooh.
Niall knew he was against Ember and knew what decks Ember had, so it was either going to be sort of Yawgmoth or
Or
Storm.
Okay, yeah, I can see that.
So
That's cool.
This Static Prism is huge.
Massive.
This is like I have now got a turn to go off.
Yep.
That Ruby Medallion, has it been 2 turns? Because that should be permanently exiled now, shouldn't it? So,
Yep.
yeah, cool. Permanently exiled. Because I was going to say, if Ember gets Suntap and she's got access to that Ruby Medallion, game could be over again. Here, Niall, I imagine, dig in with an Ancient Stirrings to try and find Trinisphere number 2. There were 2 in the sideboard. That's 4 mana, or 4 Eldrazi mana, or just... Oh no, sorry, the Blood Moon's still in play. So, the Trinisphere that's gone. Right, this is the turn. I think... So we got the mana reducer, so if Ember has got any form of rituals here, I could see this being
This could be it.
Ember's game. And it's managing to steal it.
And she does have a couple of turns to do it, right?
She'll only have this turn because that Static Prism will go away. It only adds 2 energy and you have to pay 1. Oh, actually,
Yeah,
it'll be
so
round for another
there is
turn.
one more turn.
Yeah.
The fact that, like, she's given herself a window, and it's like, gotta find it. Right,
Yeah.
there's a level of confidence because we are counting Storm.
We've got the Storm dice out. I think this could all depend whether we get to flip Raoul this turn. So we'll see. I don't know if there is a Past of Flames in the bin. The fact Ember's slowed down here is I'm a little worried for her.
Yeah, I can see that.
So we got,
Certainly looks like she's trying to find a route that isn't there.
so the issue is we've got exactly 4 mana available and 1 mana reduction with the Raoul. So Past in Flames flashback can be done. We'd have 1 mana available. No, we wouldn't have any. It's 5 to flashback Past in Flames. So that might be our issue here.
Right, we're just 1 mana off.
Oof.
Oh dear.
Niall has to be the luckiest player. Adding Gigantha to hand is huge.
I mean, yeah, it's not really, like, Gigantha's not going to get there, but she might not have many more opportunities to do what she actually wants to do.
If this Gigantha lands, it will be a 5/5 on a board that only has a 3/3 currently.
Yeah, but Niall has quite a few large things in his deck.
Yep. We are only on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mana from Niall. So we are getting into the range of big things. Here could be one of them.
That's the next command.
Ooh.
X is
So this could simply be get rid of Raoul, get rid of your grave.
like other mode. I just want to check your green.
Probably
So if
is,
we
isn't
just,
it?
yeah, if we just exile, what was it? X is 6 or X is 4?
Okay.
4.
So yeah, we're just going to exile 4 cards.
A Ren's Resolve, 3 lands.
So Wrench Resolve and 3 lands.
Untap, upkeep, draw for turn,
Pay,
for that,
pay for the prism.
play this land, and Gigantha.
Oh, oh dear.
Oh no.
You saw Niall untap really quickly there. I feel like he's past the point now when Storm has to resort to playing Gigantha. They're not in a good spot, I'll let you know that much.
He's already thinking about how to beat his round 2 opponent.
Yeah. Here's a 1 ring, so we're just going to start to outvalue this this opponent. We're not even going to take 5 damage from this row. We're going to get our Trinisphere back, and I think that's going to be it. Because I don't think we haven't got access to white mana without Manamorphose.
This is in my main phase.
Yeah. You have a little bit of your window remaining.
Yeah, we're going to cast all our spells.
Just filling up that mana pool.
This dies. Back. I have 6 mana phase.
What is it? An Empty the Warrens or something?
Use half of that for Ren's Resolve.
No,
No,
we're
just
just gonna dig.
Casting Flames and Desperate Ritual.
Oof.
Good call for Niall to exile that bin.
Yeah, it's what I'd have done. Very, very heads up play there. Get rid of the graveyard, so if this did occur, there's almost no way for Ember to come back. Who'd have thought the Blood Moon would end up hurting you? As we can't play this this static prison effect again.
I've been appreciating how often Niall's just been sat there moving lands around.
Like I said, when you're against Storm, you've got a lot of spare time. You can consider your decisions, think about what you're going to make for tea that day. Like you said, prepare for your round 2 opponent. You got
Battle of miserable and shitty card design, Blood Moon versus Trinisphere.
That's a summary of it.
yeah. I know whose side I'm on. I've lost to more Blood Moons than I'd like to admit.
Differently miserable and shitty card design. Hellbent. I'm Hellbent. I have these 2 in exile to cast until my next turn.
Okay. Go on, just slam an Emrakul.
I don't quite think we're there.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
I think
Okay.
we've only got 6 mana. And I don't think we're playing all the types. We don't have battles in this deck. We don't have.
Oh, of course. I've forgotten about Blood Moon shutting down. Yep.
Yeah.
Just play a World Breaker. Go on.
Definitely a start, isn't it?
Certainly wouldn't be bad.
So you don't play in Modern. So what do you think after watching this game of mods?
Well, I don't like Blood Moon or Trinisphere.
Yeah.
That's my initial statement about Modern.
If I scrub out of this, can I join the command?
Ember wants to play a different game. Oh, it is a World Pro. Look at that. I'm a Modern pro.
Yeah,
Oh, is it?
and we are
Double?
just gonna.
Okay, never mind. I fully assumed it was single.
Ah, that's
Yeah.
why.
We are just gonna get rid of that Blood Moon though, which I think potentially helps Ember here because this Gigantha adds the white mana we need.
Interesting. Okay.
Oh yeah, I can
Uh,
before I upfeed. Yeah, whatever.
Just past Inflame, just instant and sorceries.
I think it is just instants and sorceries.
So instant and sorceries. So we need
we
to.
don't have access to the static prison that's already in the bin.
I know, but if there is one somewhere else,
Yep.
we have left that white source on its own to the right there.
I guess I'm fetching with all of these. So that's, is that fetch is 3 fetches? Yeah, down to 8.
So there was a little error there that Ember made. I don't know whether you spotted it, but
Didn't fetch before drawing.
yes.
Yeah. Or have we drawn yet?
We have.
We have, yeah. This. We are down to 8, so there are 2 lethal threats on board now if they get through.
These were 3 red floating. I'll cast the passive
I think my initial comment about Modern is that I'm surprised that this match has taken this long, but it's not that surprising considering the hate cards that have been on the battlefield.
Yeah, I think the hate cards going down have definitely had a role to play.
It's one of those where, unfortunately, it's felt like Niall won this game as soon as the Trinisphere came down.
Yes.
Or
I don't
maybe
know about that. I think Ember had 2
maybe
turns.
when Ember ran out of turns, I think the game was pretty much over.
I think when Ember added the Gigantha to hand,
Okay, yeah.
and then Niall followed it up with the Kozilek's command to deal with the Ral and exile the grave, that I'd say was the point of no return.
Yeah, got you.
I'm going to bet on range resolve and pass.
Yeah. Get damaged by your ring.
That's a train.
Hey,
It's a train.
shut up.
Between the 2 of you, just like
Henry coming in and just telling him off for not tracking life total legibly.
this is going from me.
Is this an Ember?
I think that is GG now because we get to play the Emrakul, we get to attack with the World Breaker. Get Ember down to 3.
And we get to slam the Gigantha into Emrakul.
Yeah.
There you go. That is a great shot in hand.
Incredible.
Grape shot. Hey, can we win? Can we win on Ember's turn?
3.
No, not quite.
We can deal 2.
What, for 2 damage?
Yeah.
Alright.
I'll attack, I'll block.
Yeah.
Sack this for red.
Cool. I'm a 1. That's the root medallion. Cool.
And that'll be it.
No, I still think there means if there was a static prison off the top,
There was
could have won.
there was an option. Okay, interesting. Okay, all right, fair enough.
I just have like nothing in my hand.
Don't quite know if the mana worked out, but
I'll draw some more cards, I guess. Maybe
very, very. Well, the game was just decided by that Trinisphere. Like I said, Trinisphere is huge in this matchup.
Yep.
So Niall moving on to the winners category, and Ember moving on to the losers. So we'll see if either of them get featured
I
again.
didn't want to just like.
Indeed.
I did Stone Brain on Wish. I didn't want to just lose.
And this is what the brackets look like after round 1. So David won round 1. We just saw Niall beat Ember. Alex was victorious against Sean, and Henry beat Joe. So the next match that we watch will be Alex and Henry in the winners bracket, and you can see down in the losers bracket that Aidan will play Ember and Sean will play Joe. So let's move on to round 2. It's Henry against Alex. Henry's playing Boros Energy. This is one of the top decks in Modern, right, Kieran?
Yeah, so going by the numbers, I think this is the most played deck in Modern at the moment. If we look there, it's one that is playing the One Ring as well. But apart from that, I suppose there is a Fable of the Mirror Breaker, so it isn't a completely standard Boros Energy deck. That it might not have had the 4th copy of the One Ring, and it's still kind of Fable.
There's only 3 Flages as well.
But I think it only plays 3 Flage. I
Okay.
don't think this is full in on the 4 Flage. It doesn't
Okay.
need the 4. Orim's Chant in the sideboard, interesting. I suppose it's a way to answer Storm. But looking across this list, it's very standard. It just wants to go Guide of Souls into Oslet Pride, or Amped Raptor into Oslet Pride, into Ajani. Ragavan not always included in these lists anymore, but we see 3 of them there. Goblin Bombardment as a way to actually win the game, with Oslet Pride making potentially up to like infinite tokens in a turn if you've got multiple of them out.
I mean, I basically played this deck in MH3 drafts. I know how powerful it is.
Yeah, so this is that version pushed up to 10 with all the rares and mythics here.
Yep.
So fairly standard deck. And what do we have Alex on then?
Jund Creativity.
That's quite cool to see. It's not a very popular deck at the moment. So main plan with this is to either use Dwarven Mines, fetching them in the end step to create a little dwarf, or Fable of the Mirror Breakers to make some tokens. Use that creativity and cheat into play some Archons, and with that, win the game. You do also have the Persist package there with the Bitter Reunion. So if we go turn 2, Bitter Reunion, discard our own Archon, bring it back with Persist.
Yep.
And then in the sideboard, we see some Terrastodons for the other matchups where you want to be blowing up their lands instead. So if he goes up against Niall's Eldrazi deck, if you can blow up one of those lands that has a Utopia Sprawl on it, or one of the Soul lands that's got a big fatty exiled, that will stay there permanently. So this is quite a cool deck to see. It's not very popular anymore.
Okay.
But yeah, very sweet.
Interesting
we do have
to
4
see. Oh, you were just you were mentioning it as well. Put Pyroclasms in board, which is going to be key against the Boros aggro deck. I suspect all 4 of those are coming in for game 2. There's also 2 Lilies in the board. Who's that for?
Maybe against Control.
Because I was thinking, like, normally historically it has been against Control, right? But the Control decks that, I mean, the One Ring. Yeah, I don't know. It seems like it's past its best date. But
not the format I'd expect to see it in. Standard, maybe Pioneer, Push, Modern. It's long past its due there. It's not playable here anymore.
Fair enough.
Let's see how it goes. So going into round 2, I wonder who was the higher seed here and who'll be on the play. Massive advantage to whoever goes first.
I think Alex is on the play.
Okay.
I think that's the case.
So, a turn 1 fatal push to kill the threat. A turn 1 Thoughtseize here could be the difference between actually winning and losing this game. Just being able to stay on top of what's going on.
So this.
Okay.
This seems like a matchup that favours the Boros Energy deck. To me.
Yeah, so I think this is a game of pre-MH3 versus post-MH3, and if that's the case, I'm always going to put it on the post-MH3 deck.
That's an interesting way of putting it. Yeah, it's very true. This is the creativity decks were super popular a year ago, right?
Yeah.
Although Jund creativity, I don't remember.
Yeah, I think it's just the evolution of the deck, just as it's evolved over time. Also, another big downside of playing Jund Creativity is you don't just get to play the one ring in your deck. It kind of messes with your main combo. Because if you sack your token, you hit the ring off it, you kind of just look at it like,
Ah, interesting.
so not great there. So two negatives here for the Jund Creativity deck, which is probably why it's not seen as much play.
Just
That's
because you can't play the ring in it.
You can't play the ring, and there aren't any cards in MTG that are worth playing, unfortunately. Alex keeping his 7 here. Henry taking a mulligan, so advantage bar. Alex, I did see a Thoughtseize in that hand as well.
Maybe we should actually put together an advantage bar for you to start moving sliders around.
Every now and again, I just say advantage Alex, advantage Henry.
Yeah, I'm just gonna. It's always going to be on the max as well. There's never anywhere in between.
Yeah.
That's a decent start, right?
Yeah, it's a very slow start as well from Henry. The 12, actually I think there's 15 one-drops in Henry's deck and he didn't hit a single one. So,
I mean, he did keep a 6, right?
he did keep a 6, yeah.
Okay, well, that can recover. Just play a 1-drop on turn 2 instead.
Yeah, so he gets the Pokemon energy out,
Oh,
and that's a hit. There's an answer
that
to you.
is how you do that.
Who needs Galvanic Discharge? So Alex plays a land. It's a land we knew about already. Here's a Fable.
So we're fetching for a shock, playing Fable.
Pay for my static present in my pre-combat main phase, because that's what the card says.
Nice one there, Henry.
Thanks, Henry. Appreciate it. This is why he would have been a more ideal candidate for commentating over these games than you.
Yeah. It's also why he made it and I didn't.
So I go up to 5 and then down to 3. And I'll make Guide of Souls, and I'll pass to you.
Ooh,
Oh,
nice.
missing a land drop there though.
You don't need more than 2 lands. It's an aggro deck.
I think you want the third just so you can get to play Flage.
Yeah, for sure. Uh-oh.
So we could see a Persist here.
Yep, that's what Henry's afraid of.
Yep. We do have 3 lands. We got rid of the Thoughtseize, probably a bit slow at this point.
Hey, it's a Dwarven Mine.
It is.
Is it
Oh look,
Dwarven
there's a
Mine?
Blood Moon, a Flage. That one is a Dwarven Mine, so I think we have missed a trigger there, right?
We should have a dwarf, right? Oh, wait.
No, I think we have.
Oh, yes.
Okay,
no,
Henry's
that is a
played it
dwarf.
out.
Yeah.
So yeah, we've got a Garbodor, which is a Goblin.
Goblin. Yeah.
And is that a Charmander, which is a... Oh, I don't know Pokemon
dwarf.
enough.
I mean, looks like Charmander to me, but I only
Yeah.
know the first 150.
Yeah.
I'm going to pay this much energy.
Ooh.
Counters on this and give it flying. Say 4.
I think I'd attach with the 1-2 there as well. I don't think there's any point holding it back.
Because there's no block. Like,
No,
the
the-
dwarf's not blocking because it needs to be sacked for the Archon.
Yeah. Exactly. It's got 2 more Thoughtseizers. So Alex not valuing them in this matchup at all. But if we look at the live, actually, I didn't realise Alex is already down to 8. So
Yeah, he's fetched and fetched for shocks, and
yeah. But a creativity here.
just wins the game.
Yeah, pretty much. With Henry on 2 lands. There was a Flage, but yeah, I don't think Henry can come back from losing 2 creatures, discarding 2 cards, is it? And Alex draws 2 cards, gains 3 life. Oof. So that duress just tell me that there's not a creativity coming.
Just clearing the way. Bolt, bolt,
Okay.
bolt.
Is that Alex empty-handed?
Hmm.
There's a third land, so this is a.
Wrong.
Uh,
That, I'll go.
we have missed a static
I'll,
prison trigger,
I gain a life and an energy. So I'm on 1 energy and 25.
so we've
I think we've
We
just
have-
lost it, right?
Sure, one dies.
yeah. So we put one on and lost one.
This is gonna flip.
You love long.
I think I have advantage Henry if he draws at any land.
Looks like it's an Ajani.
Yeah. We've almost got enough mana to just cast an Archon here. We're still going.
Yeah.
Okay, we are getting that back. Static Prison should be in the bin now.
Johnny. Yep. Dice the legend roll. Yep.
Clever.
And this will flip.
Yep, so that's cool. Then we get to make another cat.
Control a red permanent.
How many million damage are you doing?
Currently we're doing 3 if I control a red permanent.
No red permanent.
No red permanent. No. So there is.
I'm gonna plus 2 it.
So we're gonna make the cats bigger actually. Which I don't hate.
I'm gonna swing with the 3-2.
I'm gonna surveil.
So Alex gonna go down to 7. We're tidying up the board. We're getting rid of that static prison.
So I'm on 8.
No, we're on 7. I think we've missed a fetch somewhere along the lines
Yeah,
here. So
yeah.
let's hope that doesn't make a big difference here.
I'll keep that on top. I will.
So Alex currently the players at the moment have Alex on 8, despite the fact that he's actually on 7.
Yeah, I think he missed that turn 1 fetch, didn't he? Or turn 2 fetch. Yeah.
Going to 5, going to 4 versus 5 is fine because lightning bolt is
Lightning Bolt's not enough and
Not a
neither's
problem.
Flage. That is a.
Yeah, well done.
oh that is though. Now we're at 3.
Yeah, so I'll
Oh, it's creativity.
4.
So I'm
I
gonna
missed that somehow.
fetch. So I want
Yeah.
the creativity for 4, yes. So put.
We don't have 4 in the deck.
So I sacrifice 1, 2, and I can't sacrifice the 3rd creature. Yeah, that's undead. Well done.
The sarcastic well done. Love it.
Well, how much thought I put into that?
Yeah. You surveilled your.
It was a very good surveil.
Yeah, keep it on top.
And then you died.
Good decision.
Could have accidentally put it in the bin.
Love this game.
Well.
That was yeah, won or lost over that draw at the end. But I mean to be fair, Alex did draw a few lands in a row there before finding the creativity.
So far ahead as well.
He did draw so many cards though with the 2 Fables. He saw at least 4 extra cards.
Yeah, Fables. Fable of the Mirror Breaker is pretty strong. So, sideboarding.
4 Pyroclasm.
Yep.
That's about all I can think of there. With how he discarded the Fort Seizes, I think he'll probably be taking those out, doesn't respect them in the matchup. But I do think it's one of his only answers to the ring. The ring is very good here.
Has Henry
Gives you
got like
protection.
stone brain effects for Archons? Because I imagine that's the kind of thing that
It's very difficult because I think they usually just sideboard into some Terrastodons. We are being shown actually what is happening.
And then I'm gonna put these in.
So, how many of those cards did you recognise at that quick glance?
4 Pyroclasms. I didn't see the
So
ones that were taken out.
So I think he took out the Bitter Reunions and the
In a way, actually.
what's it called? The Reanimator spell. He took those out,
Persist.
put in the Pyroclasm. That's the one.
Okay.
And Henry brought in a Soul Guide Lantern, which is completely nullified by the fact that Alex has took out his Reanimator package.
Okay, yeah.
Oh,
and
nice.
he's brought in his own pyroclasms
I
to
like
also
that.
deal. So
So one thing
Alex
I do
playing
know
5
about
to
these
chess.
two is that they play these against each other a lot. They have both played this matchup a lot. So
Yeah.
they'll know what each other were wanting to do from a side pointing point of view. And so
Yeah.
I suspect Alex has done exactly that and gone, I know what I know you're gonna try to bring in the lanterns for the persist, so I'm just gonna take them out.
Yeah.
Good if I had a second land.
What most Magic players say. It's almost
I think
having
it's
6
good enough
spells
to
in the
have a
hand.
second land.
Great.
It's really funny, isn't it? There are some like standard jokes.
Yeah.
I'll make a land that is both red and black, and I will bolt this.
So Henry did have the one mana play this time, but he suddenly gets answered with a bolt.
We have another one mana play.
We're playing another Pride. Do we have another bolt?
I think it's gonna be oh,
Oh,
I was too
it's a
late.
push.
Surveil lands.
Misses the land drop though. He did say if he had a second land, it'd be good. Does not hit the second land.
He had a lightning bolt and a push. It's fine.
He has a bigger muscle.
It's definitely gonna need a land soon though.
Yeah.
You know when Fatal Push, every time I see Fatal Push, I always think of Prod from Worms. And I don't, like, you can see why, because it's just a case of, just push him over the edge.
Yep.
Did you play much Worms?
I believe I had it on like the PSP.
Nice, okay.
Potentially showing my age there.
Shows that you're younger than me, that's for sure.
Yeah. So, yeah.
I got to shuffle half of my deck back in when I fetched.
Oh no, Henry!
Wait. What?
He fetched and left half his deck off to the side. And surveilled and drew from a half a deck. Oh dear. This event is being run at like comp REL style rules. So he will be given a warning and punished accordingly. Okay, and Alex actually, the punishment here is that Henry has to reveal hand. Alex chooses which one disappears.
I'm on 22.
Feels like the 50-something cards here.
I don't know. I think that's interesting. I think both players should have been given a warning for that.
Oh, random new card.
Is it Fledge?
It's not.
Oh, I think they both were given a warning.
Yeah, because it's very difficult for both players to miss.
Yeah.
Kill a Johnny.
It's not right, but that was a lightning bolt off the top. I could tell by its horrible white border.
I'm on 14. Yes.
Joblin bombardment. Yep. Go.
Alex doing an excellent job here of just not drawing the second land.
Bolt this one. Yeah.
You don't need lands in this game.
Looking from what he's done so far, I imagine his hand was land, 2 fail push, 2 lightning bolt.
And the creativity or something like that.
Yeah. I just saw 2 Ren and 6s in the hand as well. So,
Okay.
so yeah, second land definitely would have got there.
Eventually I'll get there.
I mean, he's looking. It's a pretty strong.
I do think Henry just missed a point of damage there in response to the lightning bolt. He could have sacked the creature to ping him with the goblin bombardment.
I think that might have happened. Maybe I missed it.
No, I don't think it did. I think they're both. He's still only on 14 life. Put 2 there down to 12.
Here you go.
Wow, still no land.
Dead.
So at this point, I think Henry should have added Gigantha to his hand because he could have played a hasty Gigantha here, and I think this is just being very silly, if I'm honest. Because now they're both draw going. Like Gigantha would have been lethal at this point.
Yeah, Henry's messing.
Henry's forgot.
Yeah, forgot about
Gigantha.
Gigantha.
Especially with that Arena of Glory there. Lightning bolt, lightning bolt.
I will bolt your face.
Marsh flat,
Yep.
static prison.
I'll take Raven Shot.
Yeah.
Yeah, we definitely should have been swinging with a
Marsh flat.
5/5.
Gigantha.
I mean, that's
Still missing it.
like the game, right?
Yeah, he had lethal 2 turns ago with it because of the Arena of Glory. He's also missed 2 points of damage from the Goblin Bombardment because we did see another removal spell cast and he didn't sack it.
Okay.
So I don't know, Henry's just got a bit flustered with the forgetting to shuffle half his deck in and what. but-
Understandable, right? Like that's
Yeah.
a fairly embarrassing thing to happen.
Yeah, draws another Pyroclasm off the top there. Really not going to do much. He doesn't have Surveil Lance in his deck to get, so he is just thinning the deck here.
You don't want to play top lands when you have that many 1-drops, I suppose.
Yeah. He's got 2 in play, he's got his Sacred Foundry in play. And he's just hitting lands.
Here
Oh,
we go. Yep.
we're almost
Alex
there.
on 3 mana now.
But we do know that green is necessary.
Green's not necessary for the combo. Can win with just the red. Just plays the green for
You're just in time to see the
Ren at 6.
least climactic game.
But-
Does this one kill me? No.
Like, it should do. There's still
Yeah.
Gigantha there.
I get to play the game in Fable.
Okay.
Where's one rings? Henry's is in the bin. This is on 1.
Yeah.
Here you go.
Class immune. Oh, it's a source. Untap upkeep. Class immune.
Yes.
Play this tap
So
land.
Henry's playing the Pyroclasms.
Yeah,
What's
he
that
brought
for?
his in as well. He said he brought them in to kill off all the little dudes.
Poisonous.
It means you can use the bolts to go for the face instead of
Right,
the
I see.
dudes.
Four.
Yeah.
But we are going to make a dwarf here.
Can I have, do you have any bottles of water? I would have said water. But I've got my
I can get you a glass of big bottles.
I suppose
I've got my glass of water over there.
I suppose if you can just get rid of all of the little dudes, then the Archons, the creativity becomes a lot worse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
That's
could-
fair enough.
I'm gonna be so upset.
I'd be upset too, Henry.
Yeah.
And then creativity better the dwarf.
Drawn like so many lands.
That's
Nothing to do.
nothing to do with them. Absolutely
No.
nothing to do with them.
No Giganthus there that you can add to hand and give haste with Arena of Glory.
Oh, he's not going to enjoy watching that one back. And moving swiftly on, this is what the brackets look like. So our winners in the winners brackets were David and Alex, as we just saw. And then the winners in the losers brackets were Ember and Sean. We're actually going to skip a couple of rounds here. We then had David beating Alex in the next round. So David has made it through to the final, and Sean has beat Ember, and Niall has beat Henry. So this is what it looks like as we go to the closing phases of the tournament. And then what we have next is Alex playing Sean as the winning pair of the losers brackets. So David did beat Alex, as I said, and then Sean beat Niall, which means that now we get to watch Alex against Sean in what is effectively the semi-final. Sean will be playing a Jeskai Scam deck against Alex's John Creativity, which we did see in the previous round. And this is the Scam deck. Kieran, you're an expert in Scam decks, right?
I don't think I'd say expert, but
You play them. You've played it.
no, I've played the deck. Yes, this looks like your pretty much run of the mill scam deck. You've got your dress downs and consigned to memories. The aim is to sort of play a dress down at the opponent's end phase of their turn, and then untap, play an All Drifter, get that cast trigger to draw 2 cards, and cheat a 4/4 Annihilator creature into play because Dress Down will get rid of that evoke trigger. Or you just play a Flage on turn 3 with after the Dress Down, and you say, here's a 6/6 opponent, deal with it, or I'm going to beat you in 2 turns usually. We've got a bit of counter magic to back that up with the Forceful Negations and the Spell Snares. We've got Solitude's another card we can combine with Consign to Memory. We can get rid of their creature and consign the evoke trigger to keep a Solitude around. And then to round it off, we're playing 4 of the One Ring and some Teferis for control matchups. And the sideboard looks pretty standard with this. We've got 4 Obsidian Charmor because Eldrazi decks are scary, and some Temporal Lockdowns because aggro, I assume, is also scary. If your Boros opponent goes super wide, that's a nice clean answer. Just clean it all up.
Yeah, if you can't then start looping the One Rings, then.
Yeah.
So is Null Drifter, because there's 3 copies of Null Drifter and 4 Flages. I suppose that's because Flage you can at least just cast for 3. But if you have the choice of an early Null Drifter or an early Flage, you're choosing Null Drifter over Flage, are you? I guess it's dependent on situation.
Yeah, I think it depends. I think sometimes drawing 2 cards is better than dealing 3 damage to something. It's just whether you want the card advantage or if there's a threat that needs to be dealt with, I suppose.
Yeah, I do like the Dress Down like tech of just like I'm going to turn off my creatures when they enter and make sure that they stick around. It's quite cool, but this deck just looks like pure filth.
Yeah, pretty much. It's an interesting one to play as well. There's a lot of interesting triggers that you get to sort of stop with Consign to Memory, and then the Dress Downs can sometimes just be the perfect counter to your opponent's deck if they're a creature-based deck.
Yeah, that's the reason I wasn't really clear. That's the reason I like the Dress Down thing, is because obviously you get to cheat your own stuff into play, but sometimes it's just going to be important to use against the opponent as well. So we'll see how they get played in our match. That's essentially the semi-final now. Let's get to it. Here we are, Sean versus Alex.
I think it confuses Jonas.
Yeah.
which is,
Do we know who's on the play for this match? Okay,
I believe
Sean's on the play.
Sean is on the play. Yeah.
Unfortunate.
Which is probably important. Alex being on the play with those 4 Fortseas available would be quite useful. Be able to plan out the game plan.
I do feel like being on the play has been super important for every one of our matches so far. Like, is it not just that being on the play in Modern in a high power format is just more important than it is in lower power?
I just think that's magic these days. Being on the play, I don't. There's no downside to
Yeah, for sure.
being on the play. The extra cards your opponent gets doesn't make up for it.
We do have a Thoughtseize, and we've gone for one of the 2 spell snares, unfortunately, for Alex. But
Yeah,
nice knowing that there's only a Flage and a spell snare there, though.
That hand's not great though. I don't think Spell Snare is that good against Alex's deck. I know there's Ren and 6, but a lot of his cards cost sort of Fable is free, and Creativity is more than free. So,
but is putting Flage in the bin really that big of a deal either?
probably. I mean, I don't mind just getting rid of it. You potentially put Spell Snare, a dead card in this matchup, into the bin, whereas you could have just left it in Sean's hand.
I don't know if it's a dead card, because like when we get to trying to cast Creativity, the fact that you've got to wait an extra couple of turns to do so surely has got to be an issue.
No, because Spell Snare only counts target spell if its mana cost is
my
2.
bad. Yeah, no.
Not Spell Pierce.
I was thinking Spell Pierce.
You know, I think Spell Snare, knowing it's there, you can easily play around this card as well.
Yeah. Okay. No. Yeah. I get it now.
Yeah,
It's a good job you're here.
it's all right. That's what I'm here for. So we're just seeing Sean fetch. Like we saw his hand, nothing going on, so he's just going to be sort of trying to sculpt this hand with the fetch lands. That one stays on top.
Cool. So
We
we've got to
untap.
play. Oh no, Flage
Yeah.
is the play, right?
It might just be Flage, deal 3. It might be land
Ooh.
go. Yeah.
So we found
Land
some
go.
interaction.
I wouldn't be surprised if it's just a dress down into Flage. That's another reason I'd get rid of the Flage. It just stops that interaction.
Yeah. Okay. Like. Yeah. Cool.
Because if this dress down into Flage, I don't know if Alex has many ways of dealing with it cleanly.
Because dress down is it disappears at the beginning of the next end step, so you cast it during the
Yeah.
opponent's end step, right?
Yeah, and it sticks around. So we are getting the third and final Surveil land here, so Sean's hand needed a lot of help. We untapped. There was no dress down, so
There were no plays.
just a plains.
Is it possible?
And a
Oh,
ring.
okay. The ring was one of this. Okay. Yeah, I can see keeping the ring.
Yeah,
It's your catch-up mechanic, right?
it's catch up, win con, does it all. It's a very silly magic card.
We have seen 2 decks without it so far, which is impressive, right?
ones?
We saw
So this one
and Storm.
Okay. That's fair. I'm fairly sure if Jun's creativity found a way to play the ring, they definitely would.
They'd do it, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, there it
Okay.
is then. That's why the spell snare was an issue. That's probably been there.
Yeah, it's it.
But then what's the difference
Uh,
between 1 and 2, I suppose?
So there's a force negation in response to this persist, which is unfortunate.
Certainly necessary.
And this is where the ring takes over because we've just lost 2 cards to deal with 1, but you're just going to draw 2 more.
Yeah, don't matter. Who cares?
Yeah.
It's really interesting because I played against the One Ring in Limited a few times and it just didn't do that much.
I just think in limited it's lower power. You're not drawing multiple high power cards.
Yeah,
That
that's
going to get you to the game plan.
A lot of these decks that we're seeing are like combo-tastic, and so
Yeah.
if you can just find your combo and win. In Limited,
Yeah.
it's a case of draw a 2-mana 2/2. And then you kill yourself because you can't win fast enough.
Yeah, you're playing your 2 mana 2/2s, but you've already taken 2, and then yeah.
Yeah.
So we do see the Flage come down and just deal 3 damage to the Wren. We have only 1 mana up here, so if unfortunately Alex didn't have a creativity there because that would have been a perfect turn for it.
What does creativity do with no creatures on board, though?
So he's got the Scalding Tarn, so he could go fetch a Dwarven Mine and put a dwarf into play.
Nice, yeah. So Sean now knows that there's no creativity.
Yeah, if I'm in Sean's seat now, I've just drawn 3 more cards off the ring. Alex has passed with applying 0 pressure. I'm just looking for a win con, and this Flage from the bin is probably good enough to just get there. And yeah, back up to 21 life. If that ring, has dealt 3 damage so far. We're still above our starting life total because of Flage.
Flage be good.
We've fetched 3 times. Yeah.
A couple of the more broken magic cards that we've seen in recent times on the board right now.
Yeah. Alex getting a Surveil here. Again, him not getting a dwarf there is a sign that he's not got creativity anywhere in sight. And if that's the case, this Flage is going to make short work of that 13 life. 1 swing is potentially 9 damage, so a little worried for Alex. He does play Dwarven Mine, so he gets dwarf.
Nice dwarf.
He follows it with a Wren,
Pick up this land.
gets a land, and yeah.
It's not looking good.
No.
So we
sure.
could just take Ren down here.
I don't
It
think
might
you
not even
care
be
about
worth
red.
it. Just get rid of the blocker and hit face.
Yeah.
Attack you.
Yep, that's exactly what
I
Sean's
mean,
gone for.
if you want to put your opponent down to 7, makes it very difficult. Even if, like, we've seen Alex pick up a fetch land. If he fetches, he'll go down to 6. That's a perfect number for Flage. Doesn't even need to draw off the ring. Probably sat there with 7 cards in hand anyway.
I feel sorry for Alex at this point. It just seems like an unwinnable position.
Yeah.
Like, there's going to be counter spells available, like whatever Alex tries to do here.
There's not that many counterspells in the deck. There's only the 3 Force Negation and 2 Spell Snare.
Okay.
So,
All right.
so we know we've seen 1 Force and 1 Spell Snare. We're going to try and creativity our opponent's cards.
Got to deal with that Flage somehow.
Yeah, I think if I'm Sean, I'd just let this resolve.
So, wait, where's the dwarf? Oh, right, okay. It does resolve. I wonder what Alex is going to find.
Oh, well, whatever he finds, it would have been solituded. But it is an Archon with 0 abilities, thanks to that dress down.
Interesting. Would? Huh. Would you rather just use the Solitude ability? If you could take that back and know you're hitting a Solitude.
I don't think I'd have dressed down in response there at all.
Okay.
I think the only time you lose that is if you hit a Null Drifter, at which point you've got the 1 ring to draw 4 more cards. Anyway, so you're probably not worried.
It's possible that Sean was just thinking, let's try to hit a force off the cantrip? I don't know. Okay, well, we've got another Solitude anyway.
And if you've got a Solitude in hand, I think it was irrelevant anyway.
Yep. Alright, game 1 goes to Sean.
Yeah.
Despite a real sketchy opening hand.
Yeah, so Surveil lands, they're a bit strong. You know, first couple of turns just being able to fetch, sculpt that hand, get rid of the stuff you don't need.
Alex isn't
they're
really playing a
strong.
deck that applies much pressure very quickly either. I guess the persist was important.
Yeah, it was, but unfortunately we saw the Spell Snare, and Alex has no real way of putting the Archons into the bin unless he surveils them, or if there is a bit of triumph.
Right, yeah, true.
So
What
the
are
persist
the
is
sideboarding decisions then here? Specifically for Alex, I think. I don't think Sean's is as impactful.
looks like a lot of them. It looks like the persist is coming out, the fatal pushes, bolts, potentially taking out the Archons, and instead going for Terastodons. Be able to blow up Sean's lands as opposed to, you know, having those that, like, I don't know actually, because dress down will stop Terastodon either way. So yeah, it's a bit of a hard counter, this dress down. Even consigned to memories would be a hard counter. The Archon comes in, trigger goes on the stack, you pay 1 blue, stop it. Feels bad.
Yep.
So yeah, we see all the failed pushes and like a couple of bolts come out. And we're probably, I imagine it'll be some Terastodons. I think if you do manage to cheat a card into play, you want to take full advantage of that, and blowing up 3 of Sean's lands is a way to win the game.
Makes sense.
Yeah, and that is all the decks that I play, the random like mid-rangey decks. That's the like creature mid-range decks. That's the issue.
So at this point in the tournament, David is just sat there waiting for one of these to play against them.
Yeah, pretty much. That's.
Are they sat here watching the match? Do you know, like, is that something that players normally do at this point in the tournaments? Just watch
Well-
the match before they get to play against them?
So humble brag here. So this time last year when I was in the final,
Oh, yeah.
I did win the sort of the top 8. I didn't go into the losers bracket, so I got to sit around and wait, and I just used that time to relax, basically.
You just chill out.
Yeah.
Duress.
But we do see it on duress this time.
for a pending. So
Yeah.
Null Drifter, Spell Snare, Flage.
We're probably going to see the same few turns again. We're just going to see Sean develop the mana base by fetching, getting some surveil lands, sculpting the hand, putting cards you don't want into the bin. But we do see there is a Terrastodon, so we did bring in the Terrastodons for the matchup.
Okay, that was surveilled. I was like, wow, how's that got there? That was nice.
So yeah, that is one of the ways that we can put a card into the bin. We're going to fetch up Thunder and Falls.
Like you've
Let me
seen
write that down and add it to the calculation. That really changes my next duress target. I'll keep that on top. Yeah, is it the ring?
We're going to leave the card on top. Again, probably a ring or something like that.
That's not the ring.
Oh, there goes Terry.
Yeah, so we saw the persist be taken out. So Terrastodon either way would be an awful draw. You can't imagine you're getting to 8 mana naturally in this game.
Yeah, so I suppose Sean doesn't know that persists have been removed, so you just get rid of the Terrastodon.
Yeah, and I think this is why I think we saw the same sort of thing happen with Henry. He brought in Graveyard Hate,
2 and then fetch.
and Alex just sides it out.
Yeah, Alex knows that everybody's going to side into the graveyard tech.
Yeah.
So now it's a case of like just laughing at the Soulgate Lantern because this is no longer my strategy or my game plan.
Yeah.
I like it.
We are going to fetch, get a land, take some more damage. We're going to play a 2-drop. It's going to be a Ren. It's going to probably get eaten by this spell snare we already know about.
But we have a Veil of Summer. Oh,
Oh.
fun.
Oh no. So this isn't as well, I say that.
It's a lot of
Sean
resources
can
gone.
Yeah, but Sean can untap and evoke an All Drifter, and
Yep.
Alex has no pressure on the board. So
That was pretty brutal. Like Veil of Summer would have felt real good for Alex at that point.
yeah.
Okay, so
Okay. So it looks like Sean's missing land drop.
So we just gotta get rid of the lantern and try to draw a land.
That's what I'd do.
Oh no, we're just passing.
surveil.
Duress into the bit. That's interesting because when I'm against control, I want to know exactly what I need to play around. Oh,
Well,
doesn't matter when you've already got one.
but I want two.
So I think hand was revealed there. Surgical extraction was discarded, which is interesting. I think in response to duress, I'd have definitely cast the surgical, just targeting anything in Alex's grave, just to see his bin, to see what he has in hand.
We did find a land now.
Yeah.
And then I'm on 12.
Flage comes and does a lightning helix.
3 mana lightning helix, not quite as good as 2 mana lightning helix.
Well, no, but I mean this lightning helix comes back again,
Almost good.
over
Yeah.
and over.
Same as dwarf.
So we do have a dwarf being played at here.
Now it's relevant, this has to go here.
Haha, Alex is a player who much prefers to play lands at the front, and you saw that little switcheroo.
So here is probably Alex's best chance. Sean has tapped out for an All Drifter. He's drawn 2 cards. He's played a land. It's a tap land.
This that you showed me earlier. Oh shit. Like, free information. Yeah, this is my famous dwarf now. It's better for the camera.
We're going to leave the card on top. So Alex here, creativity off the top,
Well,
and it's unfortunately a land. So
that was the window maybe.
I think that was the turn.
fair enough. Yeah.
So we did strand off the top.
I'm just trying to think how much of an impact the Ren, at least there's game actions to take with the Ren and 6 on board, but it's not necessarily, even if it had resolved, it wasn't necessarily putting Alex in as strong a position, right? Like this is still very much a losing position, either way.
I think now that the ring has resolved, I go back to just thinking there's like almost zero way Alex can win now. Maybe this turn if he drew a creativity, get rid of 3 of Sean's lands.
Yep.
But even then, I think you just lose to potentially being attacked by the 3/3 tokens because Alex is down to 12 life.
It's not just land destruction. You do gift your opponent with 9 power. Well,
Okay,
it's
we
happening.
are going for it.
Oh, it's not resolving. Oh, it is resolving. Fun.
It is resolving. There was 1 persist left in the deck. Now, question: do you destroy 3 of your own? Oh, it's getting consigned. How fun! My
So the
question is going to be:
trigger's,
do you
the
destroy?
trigger's been countered.
It looks like the trigger's going to be counted here. Yeah. I was going to say how risky do you want to play? Do you want to blow up 3 of your own lands?
You're right.
But we're not.
It's
We're not going to get to do that.
That would be fun though.
I think
Like-
blowing up 3 of my own lands there would have been the winning line. It would have got you around the Solitude potentially. Maybe
You just
not.
go-
Solitude comes down, exiles the Trestron and blocks one
And
of
then
them.
gains life. Right.
And then Ring just draws you until you get Flage. Flage comes in and blows up another one. It's just...
But how is Terry being dealt with at that point?
that's what I mean. If you start with Solitude, because Solitude just
right.
comes down and exiles
Yes,
it.
of course.
It's just a clean answer.
Solitude's another absolutely ridiculous card.
Yeah.
Not as impactful on Modern in recent times as Grief was, though, right?
No, Grief... I think the issue with Grief was it led to unfun play patterns.
Yeah, got you. Speaking of ripping cards out of opponents' hands,
Yeah, this is a good one.
Combat.
we
So I do like that play. I like attacking first because now we can minus to get rid of the Solitude.
that's cool.
So many things I need to do.
Yeah, nice.
Yep, that's a good start.
Unfortunately, Flage can come back now, right?
Yeah, and there is a
There's an
Arena
arena
of
there.
Gloria.
Yeah, this is...
So that 9 life we just gained from Thrason being exiled, it's all about to disappear.
So you just ping the Lily and...
Ping the Lily, attack for 6, ping Alex. So we gain 6. Alex loses 9.
How ridiculous. Modern's pretty silly.
Yeah, this is very much an MH3 deck versus an MH2 deck as well, and we can just see how much the game has changed since MH3's come out. It's a lot more powerful. But that's the game done.
There's a quick one. Those
so
are the
yeah,
cards that came in then, I guess.
Yeah, and it looks like we've got Sean moving on to the final, so we're going to have a Jeskai Scam Mirror, I believe, for the final.
We are indeed. And that sounds like a fun time.
Yes.
How many Jeskai Scam mirrors have you played?
1,
Not
I
many.
think.
Because then everything else, like,
Fair enough. So yeah, these were the cards that came in. We've got Terastodons, Veil of
Just
Summers.
because, like, if I
The
Lilies
rest
and-
I'd sit there and go, wow, my deck is
Yeah.
literally
Okay.
nothing.
Yeah, can see it.
And it's-
Makes sense.
And we just see the Surgical and the Lantern come in from Sean, just ways to interact with Persist.
Sweet.
But yeah,
Well, it was a fairly impactful sideboard, or like there's a lot of cards coming in, but it's just not enough. To be fair, the Scam deck is one of the top decks in Modern, right? So,
I think it's up there, yeah.
right, let's move on then. So this is how it's looked, and it has ended up with both Jeskai Scam decks making it through to the final. So we have David against Sean. So let's have a look at David's deck, because we haven't yet actually seen their list. So here it is. It is very, very similar to Sean's. Differences are, there's a bit of a spot the difference game here for you, Kieran. Can you see the cards that are different?
So I think there's only one difference, right? And I don't know, there's a couple of differences in the sideboard, but the main difference in the main deck is the one ring. There's only 3 of, and that's because David couldn't get a 4th one ring for the day.
Really? Is that the reason?
That's all it is. Yep.
So-
And then the sideboard.
They're playing fact or fiction in
Yeah.
place of that final one ring.
Yeah.
There is another difference that I would have been very impressed if you'd noticed, which is a steam vents in and a sacred foundry out. Sideboard wise though,
There's no lockdowns. We're instead focusing on the pyroclasms. And we do have a Celestial Purge, which is a really good answer to Flage.
it looks like this sideboard is more geared towards the mirror.
Yeah. So again, this could be a meta choice, knowing the 8 players that were invited to the tournament. If you know someone else is going to be in the mirror, and you think you're on the most powerful deck in the room, you just build your deck to win the mirror games 2 and 3.
So we have a fourth Force of Negation. We have a Memory Deluge there, which is obviously a good one for the mirror, and Mystical Disputes as well to deal with blue stuff, right?
Yep.
Nice. Well, let's get straight into the match then. 3, 2, 1, play. And here we are for all the marbles.
Yep. So, like I've said, I think in every round, being on the play is very advantageous. David was our points leader, I believe, coming into the tournament, so they will be
number 1 seed
on the play.
Yep.
Yep. And as and if Sean's taking a mulligan as well, and David gets to keep their hand, I would have advantage bar firmly in David's side here.
Oh, I still don't have that advantage bar.
Still not there. Disappointed. Soon.
Soon. Put it in the hopper for the dev list.
Yeah.
Are there specific ways that you play the game differently? It doesn't seem like it, right? The counter spells maybe are more important. You don't want the one ring to resolve.
So there's probably 2 cards that are scary in both players' decks, and that's the One Ring and Teferi.
Okay, yeah, Teferi's a good shout.
Teferi's going to make it so the person that doesn't have Teferi has to play at sorcery speed, and when you're a control deck, or well, these are control decks almost.
Yeah,
not being able to do that is a huge.
So you've got
issue.
to like dress down just doesn't do anything.
Yeah, you have to sorcery speed a dress down, which it's a lot harder to have 5 mana than it is to have 2 mana and then 3 mana.
And as you can see from David's deck name, dress down is fairly important in the deck.
Yeah. So Sean taking a mulligan down to 5 now.
That's not what you want, but you can.
No.
The deck is built to recover.
We do see a very important card at the front of Sean's hand there, a Teferi. Oh no.
Oh no.
Going down to 4 now.
That's not what you want to see in the final.
It's almost just pick up your cards, go to game 2. put some sideboard cards in at this point.
I said that the deck can recover, but 3 cards down.
If it goes, if your 4 cards are land, dress down, null drifter, and you top deck a land into the 1 ring, like that seems okay. You basically get to a mulligan yourself.
And hope your opponent doesn't have prismatic ending. Is it prismatic ending?
Just any form of interaction. So we kick it off with a Meticulous Archives, Veil, chucking a Hollowed Fountain into the bin.
Ooh, David does things a little bit differently to most in that deck and graveyard are on opposite sides of the board.
Yep, we follow up with an Arid Messer, a Flooded Strand. I imagine Sean will be fetching this Veil land to try and fix this more down to 4, try and get some action. See if you can put a Flage into the bin, get a free card basically.
See if we can Surveiller Terastodon into the bin.
If that happens here, I'd be calling a judge, but we'll see. We're going to dump a island into the bin, so maybe Sean's got the lands. Just feels like he needs threats, or just spells at this point, I'd say.
Anything to do. All right, we've got a fairly traditional control mirror style start.
Yep, land go, land go, land go.
Who's going to be brave enough to cast the 1 ring first? You just don't, right?
I think so. I think Sean is definitely more pressured into doing it, considering he's already down 3 cards. But we've got to see if David's 3 cards are all just free lands, then we could have a game on here.
David's lands all signed.
I think most of them are, yeah.
That's quite cool.
Ooh, we're gonna
Drifter does
focus
resolve.
on All Drifter, draw 2 more cards. We're gonna go for a Dress Down.
On end step, which means something's getting countered.
Yeah, we do only have one mana available. There's not that many counter spells, so
Well, consign
Sean-
for a null drifter, right?
yeah, you can consign the trigger.
Oh, no. Oh, we just consign that instead.
Yeah.
Like you said, Sean was pressured into going for it, knowing full well that consign was a very, very probable card in David's hand with the 1 mana open. My turn.
And now that's
And that resolves,
is
and
clear.
that's probably gonna be it.
Yeah, so as if the card advantage from the mulligan wasn't enough, we now have the card advantage engine of the ring. We did see a Teferi, so we can see that come down and bounce the ring back to try and fight the card advantage, try and counter it on its way back down.
Notice though that, I mean, we don't know for sure, but David probably had this ring in hand, didn't go for it on 4, waited for Sean to go for it. I mean, it's a fairly obvious thing to do, but it is the kind of thing that you've got to be doing.
Yeah, you don't want to lose your ring for no reason when you can just wait a turn. But we do see the Teferi come down and bounce the ring. And we're going to see Flage come down to try and answer Teferi.
Teferi down. Maybe not.
Something to note here is if Sean does have a response, because of the Teferi, David can't react.
Yep, very true.
It looks like we're just going to consign.
Consigning the trigger.
But we're just going to follow that up with second Flage.
Yikes.
So Teferi down.
David with all the answers.
Yeah. And then we did see Sean did have an answer to the One Ring, so if David did go for the One Ring, it would have got countered by the consign,
Yeah, true.
and it would have been pretty good for Sean there, but David just playing around it. No
Yeah,
need to commit the
to be
ring.
able to counter the ring and then play the ring is essentially what David's done to get even further ahead in this game, and it might have been the catch-up that Sean needed if David had gone for it. So
Yeah. So we're going to see a spell here. Sean's hoping to see a ring somewhere in the top of his deck or in his hand.
there it is.
There it is.
All right.
it resolves, so game on. I mean, if this ring goes unanswered, it gets to tap, draw a few cards for a couple of turns.
But there is another ring coming down, so it's not
Yeah,
like it's not like Sean's ahead.
Yeah, Sean really needed an answer to that ring there.
Right, so both players looking to just do a load of damage to themselves with the One Ring. Fortunately, Flage exists. It's pretty strange when control decks are just drawing cards for themselves. Fetching, drawing, fetching, drawing.
Yeah, now that they've both just got the ring in play, they both just want to build up their resources, I imagine, so they can go for the next threat. We do see 2 threats already available to David in the bin.
I suspect it's a case of David deploying threats as soon as possible before Sean can draw into as many cards as he's able to.
Here comes a ring, draw 2 more. So how many cards have we drawn off the ring in this game from both players?
Too many. I'm not counting. What a silly number.
So we're gonna go for a Flage now that the protection from the ring is gone. We're gonna start applying the pressure.
No arena on David's side. We do have an arena over on Sean's side.
Yep.
And I suspect that land is an important card in this matchup.
Yeah, I think both of them have 2 in the deck, don't they? So, and considering it only taps for 1 red mana, and red is only in the deck for Flages, I think that shows how important the card is.
Yeah. We did see a Solitude being half countered by a dress down.
Yeah, what's happened there? Is it...
Force negation in response
Okay.
to the dress down, it looks like.
So, advantage bar back to short? Question mark.
I'm still not having it, but
Yeah, I think until this ring on board gets answered, it's difficult. This Flage in the bin now, it can't be be brought back. There's only 3 cards. Sean has a creature in play. He's applying damage, but looking at David's life total, they're on 22. Going down to 20 off the ring trigger.
okay.
Now this is big.
All right. Okay.
It was big for a second.
That would have been. I would have agreed with you on the advantage bar at that point if that had resolved.
Yeah. That is, it's worth noting that is both copies of Teferi gone from Sean as well. So if David can stick one, he will be the only one that can play at instant speed.
Yeah, true. But there is one body on board. Oh no, Flage is back online.
Yeah, Flage is back online now.
So David needing an arena. Is that the best draw at this point? Might be.
Well, I think a way to answer the ring. So if we get to go arena into Teferi,
hey,
there's the arena.
Look at that. See you later, Solitude. Yeah, life totals get difficult here. Can we
Yeah.
count up and down in threes?
Oh, so the turn I said to ferry into the Flage, we're going to do it the opposite way around, but
So-
it's still going to happen.
It was like you said the best option for David here is that they get a Teferi, and I said, well, maybe the best draw is an arena. Well, maybe we just do both.
Oh, when you get to draw 4 cards in your turn, 1 off your draw step and 3 off the ring,
Chances are you're going to find both of your best top decks.
or at least 1.
Yeah, that's got to be it. Surely.
So we do know that Sean can bring back Flage, haste the Flage, deals the 6 points of Flage damage to Flage, and kill Teferi.
Oh, of course. I did say that he had the arena. That's exactly what's happening here.
So it is going to clear the board again, and we're going to be sat here looking at each other.
Have I mentioned how silly Flage is?
Well,
Ooh.
Flage is very silly.
Interesting there that David went for the removal of the counters from Teferi. When, yeah, the play was just to kill
Yeah.
Flage with both triggers.
And then we do see the land, and then Sean plays his ring back down. If this ring resolves, then... Well, it's not resolving. So we're going to untap all the cards again. We're going to take some life. We're going to draw a card, then we're going to draw more cards, I imagine. Unless we've got a full hand already.
Yeah. It's a shame we don't have
No.
card count, because there's definitely going to be a discard to hand size at the end of this. Although we did just force...
Yes, we forced and we played a card in our turn, so we did go down 2 cards, but...
just drawn 4, so...
Well, 4 and our draw step, so 5 total again.
Isn't it? Is it? Oh, okay. Thought it was 3 plus the draw step.
No, so with the ring on 4, you draw 4 cards.
Okay, sweet.
I can tell you've not had to play against this card every week since its release.
Oh,
And there's a clean answer
board
to the
wipe.
Flage.
I love a board wipe just to destroy one creature.
Oh, and is this... There it is, there's the discard. So we know there's at least 7 cards in David's hand.
Well, no, we know there are exactly 7 cards.
Yep,
Not at least.
there's at least 7.
I suppose that's true too. I'll give it to you.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So it does look like Sean's missed a land drop at some point in the game. Well, a couple of land drops actually.
Mhm.
I think this is mainly just because David's managed to keep their ring online. They've had that option to play their land.
And we have Flage back online again because of the end step discard, which is cute.
So played from hand. I wonder if Sean's win con here is just opponent dies to their own ring at this point.
I mean, that's not going to happen when there is a Flage coming down.
Yeah.
With the arena untapping this turn as well.
And a
A naked
solitude, just for the sake of solitude.
Because it gains you life.
Well, you've got
it's
to
the
kill
pressure.
your opponent.
Yeah, it's the pressure.
Yeah. And it's better to spend 5 mana on your opponent's turn than it is to spend 4 mana on your turn.
Pro
It does
pro
look
tips from Kieran there. And if you budding magic players are listening.
Yep. We're gonna get the Flage down, we're gonna gain some life, deal some damage, we're gonna attack, and I think that'll be lethal if we've got life totals correct. No, we've got a consign for the trigger, and we're gonna replicate it a whole bunch of times by the looks of it.
Flage from hand to
And
get the win.
additional flage.
That was a long game, considering there was a
Considering there was-
multiple.
Considering there were only like 4 different cards cast in the whole game. Flage, Ring, Teferi, Consign.
You know when people talk about mirror matches, that was the closest thing to an actual mirror match of just playing the deck in front of a mirror and see if you could beat it.
So they're doing open sideboarding by the looks of it.
No, I think they're just showing. I don't know, did you catch what was going on there? Just showing the cameras what the sideboard is before they then choose from
Potentially.
it. Yeah, because all of this is face down. But the deck lists are open for the tournament, remember, so they know each other's sideboards.
Yeah.
But this is one where they'll have planned what they want to do with their sideboards for this matchup, I would have thought. And here we are. I've not mentioned it yet, but because David is the winner of the winners bracket, Sean has to beat David twice here to get the win.
Yeah. So, as if being on the draw and a game down wasn't hard enough, even if Sean comes back now and wins 2 in a row, he then has to win another best 2 out of 3 to actually win the final. So let's see how it goes. Definitely an uphill battle he's got to fight.
That's right, and David is also known as being one of the best modern players around, right?
Yeah, definitely one of them. So just even more of an uphill battle for sure.
Although I always tell people don't think like that. Don't take into account the type of player that you're playing against in thinking, well, I've played too many limited matches against people who have kind of huffed and puffed about the fact that they've been paired up against me. I'm like, we've still got a game of limited to play.
David could keep a hand where it's like a flage, a couple of spells, and then hit nothing but lands for the rest of the game.
It's possible, right?
Yeah. Variance is a thing.
Yeah, like if you win, you have to hit me twice.
So are all these modern players excited about Foundations? Have you paid any attention to Foundation?
So I think they're more excited for the fact that it looks like it's going to make standard fun again.
Oh, nice. Okay. Yeah, like it does. I mean, I don't look at it as a constructed set anyway. It's always just limited.
Yeah, I think as far as modern goes, not a single card in the set will affect modern.
Yeah.
But standard should be interesting. Having a sort of a core set around for 5 years means the Wizards won't need to reprint cards. They'll always be available. And there are a few cool sort of starter strategies in there. There's owls, there's goblins, pirates. There's a new lava spike. So there's quite a lot of interesting cards in the set.
Yeah, so I think, well, maybe not we all, but a lot of us kind of reacted with a bit of a, oh no, not another set, that we weren't expecting. But every standard player or prospective standard player I've spoken to has been like, yeah, this looks good.
Yeah. I think it's needed. I think one of the biggest losses Wizards did was getting rid of the core sets. It made it very difficult for them to reprint certain cards into standard that should always be in standard. Yeah. And with this, they're basically saying these cards are going to be in standard for at least 5 years, so we all know what to expect, basically.
We have our first spell cast in Slade.
Turn 3, and it's more, I'm just going to cast this so I don't waste my turn, I think. I think it's safe as well. Could have been punished if David went dressed down into a Null Drifter here, but looks like it's just going to be a Surveil.
Beware of a hypocrite. I say that.
Both players managing to keep 7 cards this time around. So much more even game.
Land pass from David. Is this where, what are we thinking here if we're Sean? Say we've got the One Ring in hand.
I'm just not casting it.
Yeah.
I think if I've got a land, I'm just land passing. Or Null Drifter. This is perfectly fine as well, because you get to leave the mana up, so you can fetch and consign a ring if David goes for it.
I will counter all parts of it.
It is a replicated consign.
Yeah.
So that's just countering both abilities, right?
It's countering the spell itself.
Oh, it's
because
the
it's
spell.
a colour
Yeah,
spell.
yeah, yeah.
And also the ability to draw 2 cards. So you can consign a very clean answer there.
Of course, because it's a cast trigger, that one. Yeah.
Yep.
That's what I was missing.
Looks like David's just going to play at instant speed for a while. He just plays his land, passes it straight back again.
I am right in... Oh no, yeah. We're good. Surveil land.
This game could come down to the first player that misses their land drop. They have to blink first, so...
Just because it then like puts the pressure on them to do something. Otherwise we fall behind.
Exactly.
Exhilarating magic.
Land go again. Sean playing another land, that one being an island. And a pass into a Memory Deluge.
Right, this is one of the cards that's certainly gonna be helpful in the matchup.
Yep. So if you did have a Force Negation, this would have been an excellent one to be able to get rid of.
Yeah, you want to exile it, right?
Yeah. Not quite at the flashback cost yet. It's 7.
But the way that this game started, we'll probably get there.
Yeah. Looks like there's no more Surveil lands by David. I think Sean's got one more, the Thunder and Falls, so just going to fetch up a Steam Vents here.
Memory Deluge was one of the cards that I did toy around with when I dabbled in Standard last. I like playing control decks, and this is a good card in control. It's obviously I think it's one of the weaker cards compared to some of the other card draw spells that you can cast, but it does a bit of a what's the delve one that's you can't actually play in modern, right?
Dig Through Time?
Yeah.
It does a good imitation of Dig Through Time.
Exactly.
We do see a Teferi get cast there with no counter spell, so no Force of Negation.
So what sorceries does David have?
I think it's more just put it out of range of Flage.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Right.
Was that Sean's own Teferi there?
Yeah, we didn't actually see it, did we? But
no, but we do get to follow that up with a Soul Guide Lantern to get rid of that Memory Deluge. So that's as clean an answer as you can get, really.
Yeah, that's good. Sure about the first half of it resolving, but I mean, makes sense.
Yeah, we're gonna tick up Teferi again.
Soul Guide Lantern, I suppose, is just a good one to clear the bin for Flage.
Yeah, you can play it exile a Flage, leave it on the board. Then when the grave gets big enough or another Flage enters there, you pop it again. So you can potentially get rid of two threats from the yard. This time we see get rid of the Memory Deluge.
We now have Arena on David's side and not Sean's, so.
Yeah.
Could,
So here we see the
be interesting.
Flage.
Yep.
So we're here next part. Which part?
We do see a Flage, but we're not. Oh. Oh.
So I think we're going to
Evoke trigger on the
respond
start.
to the evoke trigger and pop the graveyard there.
Just to make
Otherwise,
sure that David can't just evoke it immediately.
yeah, exactly.
Not evoke. What's it called?
Escape.
Escape it. That's the one. I am learning. It's a slow process, but I am learning.
Yeah. So here we just get to rip that ring away, hard counter it. Nothing's being responded to with that Teferi sat there. Cherry up to 7.
That's
it's
a big
pretty
3 fairy.
unkillable. Yeah. And I do wonder if they've decided out their prismatic endings, both players.
Oh yeah.
It's not particularly good in this matchup. Or if we're going to start with a white here, maybe there is a prismatic ending. Oh no, this might be really sad.
It's going to be a dress down that's at sorcery speed.
Yeah, this is a real sad dress down.
So interesting that Sean's not cast it right. But if I'm David in this position, I'd be like, okay, Sean's got a dress down in hand. Sean's basically just told me one of the cards in hand.
I'd have almost been tempted to tap a third mana and then untap them just to try and hide that fact there.
Yeah. There's a lot more things for 3 mana in the deck than there are for 2.
Yeah. So we don't have enough to escape Flage.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Sean in a lot of pain right now.
Missing land drops, just oh dear.
Although let's give Sean benefit of the doubt. Maybe Sean doesn't have a dress down and has just tapped two lands on purpose to be like, here, I'm gonna tell you what 2 cards I've got in what card I've got in my hand.
Yeah.
Teferi being solituded. Interesting. Okay. So we've solituded in response to the Teferi so that the solitude can be the target for Teferi instead of the Teferi.
So Teferi can't Teferi.
Ah, okay. So then that's more of a question then.
So I think so Teferi. So the solitude there is literally just to pressure that Teferi.
It's just a case of, all right, well, I'm gonna put Teferi down to 1 instead of allow you to tick it up to beyond Flage range.
Now what David can do, because he has got that Arena of Glory, we know there's the solitude. He can just cast it with haste and kill the Teferi. We have our own Teferi, so nothing can be responded to. And if that's your cleanest answer to Teferi, it's pretty sweet.
I like that. That was cute.
And we just need to make sure we tick up our Teferi. We do. Now, oh no, we're ticking it down now. Drawing a card. Now we're going to play the ring whilst nothing can be responded to.
That's what do you call it? The advantage bar.
Yeah. Well, we can Flage now. We've got enough cards. We don't have haste. So Arena of Glory again, potentially the best top deck we can have here. If we don't see Arena of Glory, I just think this game gets too far away from Sean.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright. Gone for the ring to try to not fall too far behind card-wise. But that being countered is at least a nail in the coffin. Maybe not the nail. We do have another flage.
And I go to 17.
With the second flage, I'm almost tempted to play flage, deal for fairy, and then escape flage to finish off to fairy. That Arena of Glory should be tapped here. It was used to haste the Solitude last turn, so let's hope that one mana doesn't make a
that's true.
difference. I'm going to play another land and just pass the turn back. Now suddenly trying to resolve this flage when your opponent has all the mana available is a lot harder. Okay, let's start off with Solitude to answer.
does
Solitude.
come down. Right, so it didn't matter about the arena.
No.
Just pass. What does David have in their hand if they can't cast anything?
I imagine they've just got stuff they don't want to cast. The issue with these Jeskai scam decks is there's not many cards that impact the board. He could just be set on a couple of cards like a Fact or Fiction, a second ring, another Teferi,
Yeah. A
Solitude of
Solitude,
their own. Yeah.
as an example. Not saying they do, but
Yep. There's no need for David to play at sorcery speed here. They're the one with the Teferi out.
yeah,
They're the one in control.
yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if we just see another Solitude come down to get rid of that Solitude now.
What's your
Just be mana
favorite?
efficient.
Your favorite Solitude art? What are your Solitudes?
My Solitudes are the full art from MH2.
Oh, so different to both of these.
Yeah.
I like it. That's the one that looks like an acrylic painting, right?
Yeah.
Looks really sweet.
Is that just a discard? Oh no, that's a fetch.
Fetch
Just
that
look-
mountain.
Cards flying everywhere here.
Yep.
I think that's enough cards as well now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for our own hasty flage. It's going to come down. It's going to blow up a Solitude. It's going to attack. It's going to deal 9. It's going to gain 6. So this ring that's been dealing us damage, we're just laughing at it. And even with all that, we've still got 8 mana available, and it looks like we're going to discards as well. So
We are indeed. To feed the flage for when it returns.
yeah.
But Sean's currently effectively on 2.
Yeah, needs an answer. So we're
Alright,
going to get back
well.
flage.
There is a flage. Is it resolving?
I think you let the first one resolve then, because the first one's doing nothing to this board.
Do we have enough red mana to cast the second?
Doesn't look like it. We're gonna dress down to draw a card.
Oh, we don't have enough cards in the bin to cast the second.
We're gonna draw another card. We'll play a land and pass the turn.
Haha, fact or
Back to
fiction?
fiction.
Oh boy. That's a fact or fiction.
Ring flage, no drifter.
Go on
Sure.
then, Sean. Okay. I like that. No, I'm not choosing between those cards. I'm going to scoop.
Yeah.
And David is our overall winner and our modern champion. So massive congratulations to David. The next season is already underway, in fact. So the players are playing to make it into the top 8 of the next one that will be coming in 6 months' time or so. And also, I'm gonna flash up here the sleeves that David has won. and he's gone for his version of the Solitude art. But yeah, thank you very much for joining me and going through all things modern with me, Kieran. I
problem.
appreciate your help. And everybody for watching, thank you very much. And we'll catch you on the next one. Bye.
Bye.